Honda's NR750 engine is only a 4-cylinder engine for homologation purposes, but is specified as an 8-cylinder engine so they could get even more power. But which area contributed the most to this? Did the oval piston also allow for more intake and exhaust superiority for the same given bore and stroke ratio? Its 32 valves, 8 connecting rods, 8 spark plugs, 8 choke intake and 8 exhaust ports screams 8-cylinder. Even the HRC director, Takayo Fukui, openly admits it is essentially a V8 engine. In its 4-cylinder oval piston form, it's 101.2mm wide, 50.6mm long oval bore times 42mm stroke would equate to a conventional round piston bore size of 75.28mm to get 747.7 cc. If it was an 8-cylinder engine, its 42mm stroke requires a bore size of 53.23mm to achieve the exact same displacement of 747.7 cc. In 8-cylinder guise, its bore-stroke ratio would be 1.24 to 1 and its 4 oval cylinder form would be 1.79 to 1. On that same stroke, this ratio may differ, but the operating piston speed would still be the same. Curious on the oval piston's valve area, a 75.28mm cylinder was drawn up in 2-dimensional form just to get some basic idea whether Honda managed to further gain even more power in comparison to its rivals at the 1987 Le Mans endurance race through the advantage of the oval cylinder shape, allowing more valve area from its Siamese cylinder, or was it simply a case of an engine being able to rev higher and breathe more strictly through running a much more over square engine? The 75.28mm cylindrical bore allowed 2 30mm intake valves compared to the NR750's 8 20mm valves. We will be using 21mm valves here because we managed this size in this example. The total of 4 intake valves curtain area lateral surface at 30% lift of the oval engine could not match that of the 75.28mm engine's 2 30mm valves. Valve lateral surface area is calculating a valve's curtain area, where the top and bottom would represent the poppet valve's diameter and its seat, while the lateral surface curtain area is equivalent to how much opening that diameter represents. With this, we don't need to add valve stem diameter, as that 30% lift performance is a direct result from having a valve stem and seat. Here is the result of the valve curtain area. This result actually has the V8 version and the round bore ratio on top of the oval piston. However, we can't disregard the oval piston's mean effective valve performance. Mean effective valve area means the total intake performance from when the valve lift begins to when it closes. Out of curiosity, let's add a Honda CBR 400 engine, which also has a stroke of 42mm, exactly the same as the NR750, and a bore of 55mm, giving it a bore-stroke ratio of 1.31 to 1. In stock form, the CBR 400's 1.77mm bigger bore allows an intake valve size of 22mm. From this, we can see that there is no significant gain when it comes to intake valve diameter for the oval piston. However, it is believed that the oval piston's mean effective valve area was flowing more on early valve opening and closing. The NR750 road bike is more powerful in horsepower per litre than the CBR 400 with 166 horsepower per litre at 14,000 RPM for the former and 150 horsepower per litre at 13,000 RPM for the latter. This could be from various reasons. So where exactly did they gain the most? It is from those 8 valves per cylinder, but not through being superior in intake or exhaust displacement. It came from being able to run much higher up the rev range than their contemporaries. That superior RPM becomes a possibility as they could run much less valve mass in the smaller 32 valves compared to their rivals' larger 16 valves. This was an era where pneumatically sprung valves that were tested and used on Renault Sport's EF15 Type B engine in 1986 were still shrouded in secrecy. On the NR500, Honda did emphasize that its short stroke is directly relative to designing an engine based on very high RPM to get more power. The formula used here is classical multi-cylinder approach in that the more cylinder an engine has for the same given displacement, the smaller and lighter its components are, so horsepower can be gained through RPM.